Haboim, welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together on Daf Vav Amud Beis, starting with Vav Amud Aleph, 3 lines from the bottom. The Gemara goes back to explaining what we said just recently, that when it comes to a person who leaves his house within 30 days of Pesach, that means after Purim, from Yud Daled Adar, then he must go ahead and bimvar his chametz. That's even if he's not going to return in his place on Pesach. Why? The Gemara is now going to explain why 30 days is significant. Says the Gemara, Hani shloishim yom maya aviditayu. Why do we say 30 days makes it so that we're more than required to then get rid of the chametz? What does 30 days have to do with anything? Explains the Gemara Kedetanya. For it states in the verse the following: Shoyalim v'dorshim b'hilchos haPesach koidam haPesach shloishim yom. The Tanna Kama says that we ask and we expound the laws of Pesach 30 days before Pesach. In other words, there's already a rabbinic requirement to then be involved with the Inyane Pesach. Rabbi Shimon Gamaliel Oimer Shtei Shabbos. He argues and he says not 30 days before, only 2 weeks before. My time in Tanna Kama. The Gemara now wants to explain the position of the Tanna Kama. Why is 30 days? We're on top of Vav Amud Beis. Shaharei Moshe Oimed ba Pesach Rishon Umazir al HaPesach Sheni. Behold, Moshe Rabbeinu stood by the Pesach, regards to the Korban Pesach, on the first Korban Pesach, meaning the classical Pesach of Yud Daled Nisan. And he was Mazir, he warned about the halachos of those who cannot bring the Korban Pesach on Yud Daled Nisan because of states of Tuma, or they're too distant from the ability to bring a Korban. And they're explained, therefore, to bring it 30 days later on Yud Daled Iyar. Shneimar, it says, Vayasu b'nei Yisrael es ha-Pesach b'moyadoi. Klal Yisrael, they made the Korban Pesach in its designated time. Again, Yudal Nisan. V'ksiv vayihanoshim asher hoyu tmeim lanefesh odom. And it says, those people who were tmeim lanefesh, they could not bring the Korban, whereby Moshe Rabbeinu explained them at length that they will bring the Korban 30 days later on Yudalid Iyar. So we see that 30 days before is significant. That already gives you the shaykhis, the requirements of the halachas, the dinim of the ensuing Pesach. Rabbi Shimon Gamaliel Oimer L'cha aidi da ayri b'mili de pischa masik lehu l'kol mi de pischa. Since that it was discussing the matters of Pesach, therefore it concluded Moshe Rabbeinu the other statements, the other things in regards to Pesach, but it's not coming to teach me that it's 30 days before. Rather, it's only 2 weeks before, argues Rabbi Shimon Gamaliel. My time is Shimon Gamaliel. So what is his reason that it's indeed 2 weeks before and not 30 days before? Fine. Why 2 weeks before? Says the Gemara, Sharei Moshe oime b'rosh hachodesh umazhir al haPesach. Moshe Rabbeinu was standing on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, and he was warning, he was speaking about the requirement of the Korban Pesach to be brought 14 days later on Yudal Nisan. Shneimar says, HaChodesh hazeh lachem rishon chadashim. This month, referring to Rosh Chodesh Nisan, that will be the month of all of the Chodashim, the head of all of the months. We'll count all the months with Nisan being the beginning. V'ksiv, and it states in the Pasuk, Dabruel called Adas b'nei Yisrael le'esor be'esor la'chodesh hazeh. Tell all of Klal Yisrael on the 10th day of Nisan. This is talking about the first time when we're still in Mitzrayim. V'yichu lahem ish se labeis avos, and they should take each household a seh, and there you should take it on the 10th day to be sacrificed on the 14th day. So Rabbi Shimon Gamliel says, since this was already beginning to be explained by Moshe Rabbeinu on Rosh Chodesh Nisan, which was then to be brought ultimately 2 weeks later, therefore it's only 2 weeks before that one has to then be involved in the dinim of Pesach. Ask the Gemara, Memai bereish yarte koi. The Gemara questions Rabbi Shimon Gamliel, who's to say this is referring to Rosh Chodesh Nisan? when it states in the pasuk before, "Hachodesh hazeh lachem rosh chadoshim." Granted, it's talking about Nisan. Who said it's talking about on the day of Rosh Chodesh that Moshe Rabbeinu was speaking? Elo Omar Rabbi Bar Simi Mishmei Deravina Mehacha. Rather, we have to bring a different pasuk from the following: Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe b'Midbar Sinai b'Shona Hashenis b'Chodesh Harishon. That Hashem spoke to Moshe Rabbeinu at the Midbar Sinai on the second year, on the first of the month. V'ksiv, and it states, Vayasu b'nei Yisrael es ha-Pesach b'moyadoi, and Klal Yisrael, they performed the Pesach in his designated time. Ask the Gemara the same question. V'hocha nami mimai debreish yarcha koi. How do you know this is referring to Rosh Chodesh also? After all states is Vayidaber Hashem Moshe b'Midbar Sinai b'Shon Hashenis b'Chodesh Harishon, the second year, the first month. But who's to say that that's the first of the month? Dilma ba'arbo b'yarcha or b'chamisha b'yarcha koi. Maybe it's the fourth or the fifth or a different day of the month. Says the Gemara, Amar Rav Nachum bar Yitzchok Asya Midbar b'Midbar. We have to bring a Gezerah Shava of Midbar and Midbar. Ksiv, it states, Hocha b'Midbar Sinai. That was the pasuk that we just brought. Vayasu, it says over there in the full pasuk that we saw before, states, Vayidaber Hashem Moshe b'Midbar Sinai b'Shon Hashenis b'Chodesh Harishon. And there it says word Midbar. V'ksiv Hasam, it states there, Vayidaber Hashem el Moshe b'Midbar Sinai be'ohel moed be'echol lachodesh hasheni, in regards to the census, counting the Jewish people. There it's talking about on Rosh Chodesh when it says the word Midbar. Ma lahalan be'Rosh Chodesh afkan be'Rosh Chodesh. Just like over there when it says Midbar, it's referring to the first of the month, Rosh Chodesh. So to over here, in regards to then speaking about Korban Pesach, it's talking about the first of the month. Ask the Gemara, okay, you have your limud that indeed it's 2 weeks before. That's Rabbi Shem Gamliel's limud. But ask the Gemara now, why did it teach the census indeed before the Korban Pesach? The Korban Pesach took place before the Jewish people were counted. Ask the Gemara, v'nichtoiv b'reisha dechodesh rishon, v'hoda nichtoiv dechodesh sheni. Let it write first on the first month in regards to the Korban Pesach, and then write in regards to the second month, the census. Why did it teach it out of order? He said in the name of Rav, Zois Oimeres Ein Mukdam. We see from here that the Torah does not speak in chronological order. It's not chronological order. It comes out that indeed, although the Korban Pesach was before, chronologically is earlier, nonetheless, the census is put in the Torah before. That's only when it talks about two different topics. If it's one topic, that which is placed earlier chronologically is earlier. That which is later is later. Because if you don't say this, then he explains, klal uprat, we know there's one of the principles, one of the Yud Gimel Midos that we use to make expounding of the Torah, that is klal uprat, a general principle, the Torah states, and then a specific. Ein bechlal el mashe befrat, to teach me that whatever is mentioned as the prat, that detail, then it has to also be mashe befrat, it has to be in that klal, ein bechlal el mashe befrat. In other words, the detail comes to specify the general principle. So Dilma, if you're going to say there's no order in the Torah, prat v'klalu is going to be the opposite. It's not going to be a klal of prat, it'll be a prat v'klal. V'su, and further, prat v'klal, the way the prat v'klal works, it actually takes the prat and it enlarges it, it adds to it. And therefore, it says the Gemara, nase klal musaf al de prat. You'll take a klal, a general principle, and you add on it with the specific. So then you're adding more, whereby you're getting the exact opposite type of limud. Dilma klal fratu. Maybe it's really just a klal prat if it's out of order in terms of chronological order. Ihochi asked the Gemara, if so, then I feel with trei inyani nami. if that's true, that this is a problem, there should be a problem when it comes to two topics as well. Why are you going to say it's only a problem with one topic? With two topics also? Says the Gemara, Shapir. The opinion, there's a machlokes about this, but there's an opinion that says when you have two inyanim that are klal ufrat, that are far from one another, then you cannot go ahead and dan a klal ufrat. So therefore, that would be very well according to that opinion. But if you do say that even though it's far away, the two, you still make a klal ufrat, then you have this issue that is going to be maybe a pratu klal because it's out of order. Says the Gemara, no, even that opinion will have to say, will only say his opinion when it comes to one topic. Even he will agree that we don't make a klal ufrat if it's going to be with two different topics.